Unfortunately, most people that watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, or even go through a training like this, the Cash Flow Maps acquisition system, which walks you step by step, never actually do a deal. And it's not because they lack information, because all the information is here, but because they try to do it alone. They watch videos, you might understand the strategy, but when it comes time to actually take action, massive imperfect action, they get stuck. There's no accountability, there's no feedback, there's no one to tell them what move to make next. So in this amplifier session, which is the first video of the Cash Flow Maps acquisition system that hopefully you've been plugged in and watching here on YouTube, I'm gonna show you the single biggest accelerator that I have found in business, and storage is no different. And that is the combination of coaching and community, and how it can dramatically shorten the path between learning this business and actually owning your first storage facility. So let's dive right in. Hey, my friend, first off, congratulations. Hopefully, if you're watching this, I'm going to take it to mean that you have made it through the entire Cash Flow Maps acquisition system. You have done the work, you have built and laid the foundation, and now you have a clear roadmap to find, fund, and win your very first storage deal. Maybe you're watching this and you're going after your second, third, fourth, maybe even fifth storage win. Either way, that alone puts you ahead of miles and miles ahead of investors and others who are stuck spinning their wheels in analysis paralysis, talking about getting involved in self-storage, but never actually making any headway. But now the way that I see it is you're at an important crossroads, because you can take everything I've taught you, everything you've learned in the Cash Flow Maps acquisition system, and try to figure out the next steps on your own. Or you can plug into a community that is going to help you shortcut the learning curve, be there to guide and support you, hold you accountable, help you avoid costly mistakes, and ultimately accelerate your results and get you to your desired goals a lot quicker. In the last video, I called this next step the freedom path, and that is exactly what this is. But here's the truth, is that this isn't just a path. The way that I view it's an accelerator, because when you combine the right coaching with the right community, everything speeds up. It's an absolute game changer. You start moving with more clarity, with more confidence, with more momentum. And that's why I've actually decided to name this amplifier session the Freedom Accelerator. And let me share with you something personal. Every single leap that I have ever made in my life and business, number one, I attribute that to God and my relationship with God, my faith. Number two, it came because I surrounded myself with the right people. I had the right coaches and mentors pouring into me. I was involved in masterminds and communities of like-minded individuals that were there to hold me accountable and lift me up when I was down, pick me up when I was struggling or frustrated because I wasn't getting to my desired goal quicker. They were there to tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. I think back to my wholesaling days, I felt like I hit a ceiling multiple times. I was working hard, but it felt like I was on a big hamster wheel and I just felt stuck. And I found the right coaches and mentors who challenged my thinking, and I got immersed and surrounded by a community of people that believed in me when I was questioning myself. And look, that combination for me, that guidance plus accountability plus support, absolutely changed everything in my life and business. It's what helped me transition out of a transactional business back in 2020 into the storage business that I have today. One that gives me more freedom, more margin, more impact, one that allows me to do this, which is what really energizes me and gives me fulfillment. Let me pause for a quick second. If you are serious about buying your very first storage facility, don't piece this together video by video. Inside the Cash Flow Maps membership, you're gonna get the entire acquisition system unlocked right now, plus the underwriting tools, the templates, the scripts, and the deal filters that we actually use. And you can't get these here on YouTube. You can actually create a free account to access and unlock the entire acquisition system along with all the valuable resources. Click the link in the description, get the full system, and then let's come back to this and keep building. Back to the video. And that's why I built the Storage Wins coaching community, so that you could experience the same exact growth without the years of trial and error I went through and without the costly mistakes I made along the way. And what I have come to realize is that most people don't fail because they lack information. They fail because they try to be the Lone Ranger, doing it alone. and they get overwhelmed by too many strategies. They lose clarity on what to do next. They stop taking action because there's no one to hold them accountable or even remind them why they started. Somebody to believe in them when they start not believing in themselves, when they start doubting themselves and the inner critic voice pops up. So inside a community like Storage Wins, that changes. You're surrounded by people who are, number one, they're doing it. So your belief is going to grow. You get coaching that gets you focused on the right actions. You get support and you get your questions answered, because inevitably, as you start to implement the cash flow map system, you're going to run into some roadblocks, some challenges. You're going to have some questions. And ultimately, you get accountability that keeps you consistent, okay? Let me share just a few quick stories from inside of our community, because you might be somebody that you're looking at me thinking, well, hey, Alex, you can do it because of XYZ, whatever that might be. Well, I think of somebody like Jeremy and Marianne, who just recently joined our Storage Wins community. And within 31 days of joining our community, they were officially under contract on their very first storage facility for $1 million. Now, these are people that had never been involved in self-storage. They had been thinking about it for a while, but they ultimately decided to join our community, surround themselves with like-minded people. They got the help, the support, and the guidance. And to their credit, not only did they take massive imperfect action, but they gave all the glory to God. And they actually shared about that on one of our community calls. And as of today, as of the day that I am recording this Freedom Accelerator video, they're scheduled to close in the next 24 hours. That's how powerful surrounding yourself with the right people and getting the right guidance is.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy Velasic.
And Marianne Velasic.
Husband and wife. No, we wanted to actually just talk about a fantastic experience we had with Alex Pardo and Storage Wins community. So I was flipping through Facebook a few months ago, and Alex was on there talking about self-storage. And I have been a full-time real estate investor for roughly 21 years, primarily in the single-family home space. I have never bought a storage facility, although I have tried in the past. When I came across Alex on Facebook, God said to reach out to him because he did want me to do self-storage. And I did reach out to Alex, which I think he was a little surprised that I reached out to him. I've known him for about 15 years or so. However, it was a fantastic experience, and the community is amazing. Alex is fantastic, and he took away the scary parts of self-storage, like the management piece of it, how to find the deals, all the information that we would have fallen short or probably stumbled had we not been a part of that group.
How to evaluate a deal, which is really important. That was all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gary Keller talks often about standing on the shoulders of giants, and I absolutely would say that is true with Alex and the community. So we just wanted to give him a shout out, and we would highly recommend him, highly endorse him. And we did buy and close on our first storage unit. It was 185 units, roughly 33,000 square feet. And we were in the group 35 days. We actually got the deal when we started with the group, and we closed about 35 days later. So I just want to share our testimony for him because it was fantastic, and we just appreciate the group so much.
And one thing I want to add is Alex teaches us to make massive imperfect action. And that was probably one of the most powerful things that he shared, because nothing we do is going to be perfect, but if we don't take massive action, we won't get results. And so I love the community and all of the learning, and we feel 100% supported, and we're just happy to stand here and tell you how great Storage Wins is.
Absolutely. So if you are on the fence or even considered investing in self-storage facilities, I would highly recommend Alex, and I would highly recommend the community, Storage Wins.
I think of somebody like Kate, who joined with zero storage experience, and she did have a little bit of wholesaling experience, but just wasn't able to really gain traction. And because she came into our community and showed up and contributed and gave and build relationships with the right people, not only was she able to find her first deal inside of our Storage Wins community because another member had the deal and wholesaled it to her, but she needed 30% down to get involved in that deal, which she didn't have. She found it from two other storage winners, two other people in our community. And today now she owns a storage facility that's cash flowing. She's building momentum. She's knocking on the door of her second deal. And in fact, I interviewed Kate on the Storage Wins podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll link that up somewhere on this page so you can hear her story directly from her, because she's somebody who doubted herself. She didn't have the belief and confidence she can do this. But to her credit, she stepped up, she invested in herself, she joined the Storage Wins community, and then she followed through. And today she's the proud owner of her storage facility and is well on her way to building a very successful and profitable storage portfolio. I think of Casey McKillop, who came into our community after he and I had a conversation, and 91 days later, he bought his very first storage facility. 6 months after that, he bought his second facility. And 2 months after that, he bought his third facility. 3 storage facilities in 11 months, all with creative financing, and all with one particular method, which was driving for dollars. Okay, he built relationships, he plugged into our process and our system, he showed up on our community calls, he asked questions, and he took the action, and now he's enjoying the fruits of that labor. Mario Quintero is another person who was successful as an employee in his medical sales business, but ended up getting laid off and knew that he wanted something more for his family. And he planted his flag on storage. He came in. I've actually interviewed him. We'll include that interview as well. He talked about how life got busy and he just wasn't putting in the time and energy. 6 months later, he didn't really have the results he was looking for. So we had a conversation and a heart to heart, and we hit the reset button. And then just 3 or 4 months after that, he bought his very first storage facility, which also he found within our community. One of the members actually wholesaled the deal to him. Now he's not only the owner, but he's helping others inside of our community do the same. Different stories, same results, clarity, momentum, and freedom through coaching and community. I can go on and on. We have other members who have carved out equity and ownership in deals just by contributing to other people's deals. So that's the type of support, that's the type of benefit that comes from being a member inside of our community. It's what happens when you join Storage Wins. Not only do you get a custom game plan tailored to your goals, you get resources, you get the tools that you need, and you get all the support on your timeline. So we're not talking about cookie cutter strategies here. We literally help you create your path to your first facility or your next facility. You get equipped with the tools and the resources, everything from our buy box builder to deal analyzers, offer templates, funding scripts, due diligence checklist. We just amplify and build on what you've already gone through here in the cash flow map system. And then we give you support. Every single week we meet for live coaching, and we do deal reviews and case studies. You'll get feedback on deals that you're actually working on. We'll help you structure offers, come up with strategies to confidently raise capital. But honestly, aside from all that, which is a huge value, the greatest value is in the people. It's in the community, it's in the relationships, because you will never have to do this alone. All right. Our members celebrate your wins. We're going to challenge your thinking. We're going to keep you moving forward. And when you join the Storage Wins community, you're not just learning, you're becoming part of a family that wins together. And here's the truth. What I have found is that you already have everything you need to succeed, right? Like if you've gotten this far and you've gone through the cash flow map system, you literally have everything you need to succeed. You've got the roadmap, the strategy, you clearly have the desire and the energy to do this. But if you want to shortcut the learning curve, if you want to avoid any big mistakes, you want to move faster, then coaching and community, that is the ultimate accelerator. There's an African proverb, and I don't want to butcher it, but it says, if you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it together, right? Do it with people. So you can absolutely do this on your own. But here's my question. Why would you? Why take the long road when you can walk alongside others who've already mapped out the shortcuts, others who've already made the mistakes that you are sometimes inevitably going to make because you just don't know what you don't know? So look, here's your next step. Click the link below somewhere on this page and book a discovery call. And we're going to help you map out your Freedom Accelerator plan. I'll ask you some questions to figure out where you are now, where you want to go, what's holding you back, and whether our coaching community is the right fit for you to help you get there faster. So you've already done all the hard part. You've gotten started. Hopefully by now, if you're watching this, you've already taken that massive imperfect action. And now it's just time to accelerate, all right? Because you were not meant to do this alone. Let's build your storage freedom together. All right, so here's the big takeaway. You already have the map. You've learned how to define your buy box blueprint. You know how to find deals, how to fund them, how to close them, and how to stabilize the facility. The only question now is, how fast do you want to move? Because when you combine the Cashflow Maps acquisition system with the right coaching, the right community, absolutely everything accelerates. You're going to start making better decisions. You're going to avoid costly mistakes that can set you back years. And you're going to start gaining momentum toward your first, or maybe in your case, your next storage facility. If you want access to the full ecosystem of tools, training, and resources inside the Cashflow Maps acquisition system, then I want you to go ahead and click on the link in the description below and create your free account. In the next Amplifier session, we're going to go deeper into one of the most important pieces of the entire system, and that's how to actually start accelerating your deal flow and momentum once you plug into this framework. I'll see you in the next video.